Hey guys, it's Brian Berg from BB Direct. Too often I see companies spend a lot of time and energy and money on developing their marketing campaigns to only neglect to measure the response to those campaigns and understand what the return on investment is. This is what we're talking about today. It's a crucial piece in developing and growing your business, so stay tuned. Hey guys, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to develop a way to measure the response of your target marketing, your direct mail, your email campaigns, your programmatic digital marketing efforts. It's so crucial to the life and breadth of your business and the growth opportunities that you're going to have in front of you. So we're going to dive in a little bit deeper into response measurement today. First of all, I want to point out some of the reasons why you're probably not doing this, but I want to also explain how important it is to take action right away. One, unrealistic expectations. A lot of times marketers will put so much money and effort and energy and time into putting together a marketing campaign, and because they've just foraged on and put so much energy into it, they're going to do that campaign no matter what. So they kind of, in a sense, almost think that I can't spend any more time putting in the energy to also measure every single order that comes in from this campaign. But they're sold that it's going to work. So it's really important to measure every one that does. It's time consuming, yes. You're going to find out that if you have not done so already, marketing is expensive and time consuming, and if you do it right, it pays and rewards you. But you've got to learn from every time you do it. Test, test, test. But it is time consuming to do the campaign, and it's also time consuming to record and track the measurements and response and your return on that investment. Low response, if you're not getting the response initially that you kind of hoped for, then you think, well, what does it really matter? I was expecting 50, that was my break-even point, but I only have maybe 6 orders the first week, and it's just not working. And I'm on to other things. I'm working on trying to recoup that energy, time, and money spent on that campaign so I can try something else. But low response, sometimes they just ignore it. It's difficult and distracting, for sure. It is difficult if you're not set up correctly initially before you do the campaign. You're scrambling at the end to track these few campaign orders that come in, the few responders that come in, and it is distracting. If you have multiple campaigns going on, a lot of times companies will be testing a few new different platforms, new different messaging, new different offers at the same time as they're doing their tried true testing campaigning to bring in those customers. And it's hard to then sometimes track where your new customers are coming in from. So that's another challenge that we see a lot of. And then customer focus. A lot of times the sales team is so focused on getting those orders in, they feel reluctant to actually ask the customer, how did you find us? Where did you come from? What piece of advertisement did you respond to or feel inclined to then decide to come into our storefront? Sometimes the sales team members have to realize that the customers will gladly help you with that, even if they're on the brink of maybe closing on the sale or not. Ask these questions. The sales team has to know how important this information is to the company. Lagging sales orders too. You might get a few orders initially and say, well, this campaign isn't working. But then a couple of weeks later, they get a couple of more, and then maybe a month later, they get another windfall of responses. So a lot of times companies will delay their response measurement or just ignore it altogether because they didn't get the initial half-life response that they hoped for. Some of the things that we're looking at are the number of orders or the number of inbound calls, the number of inquiries that people ask about the product or sale or service, the number of applications that were turned in, regardless if they were approved or not, the number of prospects who've raised their hand and says, I'm interested in this, even though maybe I can't afford it or maybe I ultimately wouldn't buy it, but I am interested in it. This is really crucial information to be tracking and measuring. Gross revenue increase over the period of time that you did that event sale. Maybe it was over the weekend, over the entire month. Tracking the gross profit increase during that same time. It is difficult to measure every single order that comes in potentially, but you can look at also just sheer gross revenue that comes in. If you have a stable month-to-month revenue stream that typically comes in from repeat customers and you see a blip up because you did that event, you can measure the distance from the baseline and your blip, subscribe that blip into this particular marketing event. You can send out coupons where they physically bring them in, or maybe a coupon code that they fill out on the web. There's a lot of different ways you can use coupons for discounted items and then see those discounts that come in and attribute that sale from the coupon for this particular campaign because, hey, that was the only 15% off that we did during that time frame. The unique landing page, if you have an email campaign or some programmatic digital marketing efforts, you can send those individuals to an identical campaign with a slightly different URL and then track the activity on those landing pages to determine what kind of prospects visited the page based on that marketing effort. On your order form for the sales team, if they are filling out an order form and there's a little box that says ask the customer where they came from. You can ask your sales team to fill this thing out correctly and track this particular order came from this particular campaign. You can also assign a unique phone number that will then automatically forward to your mainline intake phone number and then track how many calls came in on that particular unique phone number that's tied only to this particular marketing effort. Good way to kind of get an idea of who's calling versus coming in. Your business reply by mail, the piece that they mail back after they receive a direct mail campaign, excellent way to measure who's responding, who's actually ordering. Good way to do it. My recommendations are as follows. Designate someone in your company to track down every single order. Talk to the sales team members, make sure that they're filling out the order form correctly and that they're submitting coupons that were collected from prospects, not just people who've placed orders. Make sure that somebody is solely responsible for reporting back to you on a weekly basis or a monthly basis what activity came in from one particular campaign to another. Go into great detail and designate somebody else. Your time may be pretty busy doing other things. Make sure that somebody is designated to be the responsible party to just track the activity from this particular campaign. I also recommend that in QuickBooks you can set up under the items you can set up a sub-account to then track revenue and profitability for a particular sale on a particular item. So this is a real easy way within QuickBooks to measure your revenues and your gross profit. Not only tracking the number of results and new customers coming in, but who are they exactly? It's really valuable to know the individual, the name and the address of who is responding and who is placing orders, because you can then append information, say demographic information, to those responders that have actually placed orders and look and see how are those people different from all the other people that you mailed to, all the other people that you emailed or you did a digital effort to, and see how those people are different than the people who are actually responding. Knowing that difference will make future orders and future campaigns much more profitable for you. And ultimately, cost per customer acquisition, that's what it comes down to. By measuring all the campaigns that you're doing from a variety of different marketing efforts, you can then determine what is your ultimate cost for a new client to buy from your company. And in doing so, you can then designate more marketing budget to that particular campaign that has the lowest acquisition cost. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching.